Hey everyone, welcome back to the dad section. I know it's been quite some time since I posted a video, but I'm glad to be back. And today we're going to be going over the must-haves for your diaper bag. But before we get started, please make sure you do smash that like button, leave us a comment down below, and of course subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way whenever there's new content ready, you guys are going to be able to check it out. But for now, let's get started in this video. So for a lot of these items that I'm going to be going over in this video, I'm going to have them linked down in the description below. That way if there's something that you like, you'll know where you can find it. First and foremost, the first category we're going to go over for your diaper bag is going to be the basics. Now this is going to be stuff that you pretty much already should know about at least, so I'm not going to hammer them too hard. I'm just going to go into them a little bit. So diapers, of course, diapers are a big thing. You want to make sure that you are giving your baby the opportunity to be as comfortable as possible. One big thing I do have to say about diapers, make sure you are keeping up with your diaper bag. You're constantly updating it. That way if they go from newborns to ones to twos, you are updating. Next, you want to have your wipes. Wipes are very important. They go with diapers. Again, I'm not going to hit too heavy on this just because this is something that is pretty basic for the average parent. So diapers, wipes. So next we have our bottles with our water already inside and our formula container. This one holds 3 different serving sizes. Why this is so important, you know, to have food for your baby. If you're breastfeeding, cool, you don't have to worry about it, but for having formula fed baby, make sure you do have the proper amount of bottles and formula for how long you're going to be gone. So if you're going to be gone for 1 feeding, make sure you have 2 bottles just in case, because you don't know if your car is going to break down or something crazy happens. If you're going to be gone for 3 feedings, make sure you have 4 bottles and get the pattern that I'm talking about. So that's all it is for the basics. You have diapers, wipes, and your formula and bottles. Great, so now that we've got the obvious out of the way, let's move on to our next category, which is going to be the medical things that you're going to need for your baby. So first and foremost, I highly suggest getting these little snack bags, because that way if one of these bottles happens to bust, it's going to be contained in these little snack bags, and they just make it easier to transport stuff around. So to start off, I've got 2 different types of gripe water or gas drops. This one we use during the daytime. It's the Little Remedies gas relief drops. This works like magic. And same thing with this Mommy's Bliss gripe water. This is for the nighttime feedings, and it just keeps them comfortable through the rest of the night. And finally, we have infant Tylenol. He's been doing a lot of growing, and he's been starting to teeth a little bit. He hasn't cut yet, but he's starting to teeth. So this is a miracle whenever he's getting very fussy and he's starting to run a very low-grade fever. Along with these, you want to make sure that you have all the syringes that you're going to possibly need. I would bring more than one. That way, if you need to use more than one container, you're not crossing the medicine into each other. So I have one for the Tylenol, one for one gas drop, and one for the other. Next, I'm going to go over the creams that we have in our bag medicine-wise. We have the Desitin, which is just a rash cream. Very good stuff, but we mainly use this Bordeaux's butt paste. This stuff, if you've got a rash on your baby, especially a diaper rash, this is going to cure it in a matter of a day or 2. This stuff is magic, literally, and it's super thick and it coats on nicely. So if you're looking for something that's working awesome, definitely this Boudreaux's, I think it's how it's pronounced, not Bordeaux's, Boudreaux's butt paste. You want to make sure that you have some kind of nose sucker, whether you're using the bulb or the actual manual one, where you are putting in your filter and you're sucking it yourself. I know this one's kind of gross, and a lot of people shake their heads in a weird way about it, but go with this one. This one works so much better. You're not going to get boogers in your nose. I know that it's a little gross because you're having to literally suck it yourself out of the baby's nose, but this works so much better than the bulb right here. So if you are looking for one of these, I will have this linked in the description below, because this is a lifesaver, especially if your baby is spitting up through his nose in the middle of the night and you're scrambling, you can't get the bulb into their little nostril. This little thing will just go right up in their nose, and you suck it, and yeah, they're going to scream for a second, but it's going to get every single thing out of their nose. Finally, the last thing that I have in my bag for medical supplies would be a rectal thermometer. You can do a forehead thermometer, but this is always going to be a lot more accurate, especially for a young infant. This one is just a safety first. Came in a little first aid kit for a baby, and it's been very accurate every time. And I just wouldn't want to be caught without one of these, especially if you're in a situation where you don't have one handy. So always make sure you're prepared with all of your medical supplies. We're going to move on to the cloth kind of supplies like blankets and clothing, what I have packed in my bag. So let's get right into that. First, I'm going to start off burp cloths. You can use any cloth as a burp cloth. These ones are actually really nice. These have been a lifesaver. We have a ton of these. They've just been really comfortable against his face, and they don't, give him a little rash. It's not abrasive, anything like that. So if I can find the exact link for these ones that we've gotten, I will definitely link that below because these have been awesome. So make sure you have a burp cloth, one or two, especially at very least have one, because babies do like to spit up a lot, especially after feedings. Next, I have two different types of blankets. I have a swaddling blanket, which is a lot thinner than my other one, which is just a nice comfy blanket. You can use this to lay it out for the baby to roll around on if you don't have a pack and play or anything like that. If you want to change on it, awesome. Or if they're just going to go to sleep and they like to be comfy on these blankets, this one is pretty important to have, along with a swaddling blanket, because if it is hot, but they like to have this for comfort, then this one is going to be definitely a lot more reasonable in the summertime. Lastly, on our clothing, our cloth items are going to be an actual change of clothes because, like I said, babies like to spit up all over themselves. So if there's spit up all over their front, poop coming out their back, and pee going out their front, if you just have a super baby that day, then you want to make sure you do have a full change of clothes. So you have your diapers, of course, but then you've got this cute little shirt here, one onesie, one pair of pants, or you can do one thing of pajamas, which is one whole onesie, pair of socks, and a pair of mittens. How to use these about 100 different times already. Extra change of clothes, must have for your diaper bag. All right, so next we're going to go into more for the baby's entertainment and for baby soothing. Always, always, always bring at least one or two different toys that'll be able to distract the baby. Right here you can see himself. It's got a little teether on it. It's got little noisy pieces of fabric, and then of course where he can grab onto. So one toy like this, you're going to be set as long as it's keeping them distracted. If you have a baby whose attention span isn't quite as long, have a second toy, makes more noise, really comfortable, and it's actually a very soft rubber, so he can actually sit there and chew on that too if he's starting to teeth. Going along with teething, I've got this teether right here. It's filled with a liquid or fluid. You can freeze it. That way they can chew on it. He can chew on it just like this, but it's important that if they are starting to teeth, that this is something that they have. It's going to give them some sort of comfort, or it's going to soothe them. And finally, the most important thing that I actually probably should have put in the basic category, but just in case, I have pacifiers. So we've got here a little pacifier clip that we clip right onto his clothes. Really nice because if he's spitting it out, it's not going to be lost in the car. It's not going to be lost wherever we are. And then, of course, you have your regular pacifier that if you don't have a clip, no big deal. As long as you have just a regular pacifier, you're going to be set. Some personal items that I do carry for myself in the diaper bag would be just a charger. That way, if you are in a situation where you're going to be at a place for a long period of time, you have your phone charged and you're going to be able to stay in contact with your spouse if they're not with you, or whoever you may need, or even just 911 because, God forbid an emergency happens and you need to have your phone and it's dead. So charger is essential. And finally, me personally, I don't like to wear spit up, so I have an extra shirt for myself. You want to make sure that it's something comfortable, light, and you're not going to worry about it too much. So you want to have an extra shirt, and you want to have your phone charger. And the last thing for personal stuff, just a flashlight. That way, if you are in a situation where it is a little bit darker and you can't really see into your diaper bag and you're trying to find stuff and you haven't memorized where everything's at, you have your little flashlight, or if you're just maneuvering around in the dark, it's good to have one of these just in case. Finally, the last thing on our list of categories is going to be just some extra things, but that aren't personal, that go more towards the baby. So a lot of diaper bags do come with this. You want to make sure you have a little changing pad, or like I said, that blanket before, you want to make sure you have a changing pad. That way, whenever you're changing your baby, you're on a sanitary platform, a comfortable platform, and you're decreasing the risk of bacteria and germs from getting onto your baby. And lastly, this came with my diaper bag. There's always, you can carry trash bags, you can carry whatever you want, but have a way to store your dirty diapers. That way they're not stinking up your bag, stinking up your car if you're not near a trash can. So mine, it's just this little Velcro, snap on, trash bag that is easily washable. You tie it up, throw it in the back of your car, and the smell's not going to get everywhere. So make sure you have a way to store your dirty diapers because that can get pretty intense, especially if it's a poopy diaper. Last thing I want to cover, of course, the most important thing about this entire video, besides the basics, are going to be picking the right bag. So picking the right bag is pretty important. Definitely pick one that comes with a changing mat and possibly one of these receptacles, and one that's going to have enough room to carry all your stuff, and it's going to be super comfortable for you. First and foremost, though, make sure you're getting a comfortable bag that's going to suit your needs and suit your baby's needs. So that's going to wrap up our video for today. So as always, please, if you did like this video, give us 2 big thumbs up, leave a comment down below, subscribe to this channel, and of course check out all of our other videos here at the dad section. They're going to be linked right here, and always check out that description below. There's a lot of good stuff in there. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.